Welcome again to a look across the Chinese art scene, one that remains ever-changing and multidimensional. This year's your chance to learn about art news, art events, and everything else that's going on in China's booming art scene. I'm your host, Shina Akagawa, and this is China Arts. Coming up on today's show, Beijingers welcome the arrival of world-renowned musical Phantom of the Opera. An Italian luxury brand Gucci makes its mark on Shanghai. All that and more right here on China Arts. First up, let's get the inside scoop on some exciting art news going on here in China. Beijingers are eagerly awaiting the opening of a contemporary art exhibition put on by none other than renowned director Gu Chaowei. In addition to being one of the leading Chinese cinematographers today, Gu is also an artist. His exhibition will be displayed at the National Art Museum of China. Let's find out more. Gu Chaowei was born in 1957 in the city of Xi'an in China's northern Shanxi province. He is a graduate of the highly acclaimed Beijing Film Academy. As a successful film director and photographer, Gu is among the representative figures of a group called the Fifth Generation of Directors. This group refers to a number of directors whose films represent a notable creative moment in the history of Chinese drama, spanning from the early 1980s to the early 1990s. Gu is also a recipient of the Best Cinematography Award at the 1994 Golden Horse Awards for his film In the Heat of the Sun. His film Peacock also won him a Silver Bear Award at the Berlin International Film Festival in 2005. Since 2014, Gu Chaowei has been working on a series of art projects with the subject matter of 100 RMB. From the perspective of renminbi, every piece of work is endowed with a brand new life. Gu, who pays continuous attention to social issues and the living state of ordinary people, makes the use of his unique views to change the ordinary into something magical. He extends microscopic parts of the 100 RMB note to something extraordinary. Gu makes use of money to express the reality of China today, the things that harass the tranquility of people, the things that create miracles, and the synthetics of money and the desire for money. His upcoming exhibition will use image, video, and sculpture to demonstrate the reflection of art on social issues in China. The exhibition will be on display at the National Art Museum of China very soon. Musical lovers in Beijing were overjoyed at the recent arrival of the Phantom of the Opera here in the capital city. The world-famous musical is Broadway's longest-running show in history, having premiered in New York back in 1988. It took nearly 3 decades for the show to make its way to China, but it appears that it was certainly worth the wait. Let's find out more. World-renowned musical The Phantom of the Opera first premiered at the Her Majesty's Theatre in London back in 1986. 29 years later, the musical has finally arrived in Beijing. The cast is a leading veteran musical actor, Brad Little, who joined opera's Broadway cast in 1996 as the Phantom. He has staged this role over 2,050 times and has become one of the 4 famous phantoms in the musical's history. The female lead character, Christine, will be played by new face Emily Lin. While Lin is new to this musical, she's played in many other classical roles such as Fantine in Les Miserables, Ellen in Miss Saigon, and Lisa in My Fair Lady. Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera has been adapted into 16 versions throughout the years. But according to Brad Little, the Beijing adaptation of the musical preserved as much of its original version as possible. The musical was not adapted into Chinese language version like Mamma Mia and Cats were when they were staged in China. The performance will feature the same music, same sets, same costumes, and same lighting as the one on Broadway. The Beijing premiere of the musical took place at the Tianqiao Performance Center and was well received on the first day. The musical part of the performance was also highly praised. On behalf of the original creator Andrew Lloyd Webber, sound director Guy Simpson selected 16 band members for orchestra, and 12 of them were in Chinese. The city of Hangzhou in China's eastern Zhejiang province recently played host to the China International Cartoon and Animation Festival. This year marked the festival's 11th running year. Participants were treated to animation exhibitions, lectures, and even a costume contest. Let's get more details on this event. The 11th Annual China International Cartoon and Animation Festival was recently held in Hangzhou in China's eastern Zhejiang province. This year's festival featured a total of 600 animation exhibitors from over 70 countries. CICAF was first established on the eve of an International Children's Day back in 2004. The six-day event aims to enable cooperation, competition, and development cooperation between animation and cartoon organizations from all over the world. In addition to the family-friendly events and festivals, CICAF offers lectures by leading industry professionals such as Leslie Lee from Disney and Oscar Award-winning director Laurent Witz. At the festival, Witz expressed his intention to look for future business partners in China. He said China's animation industry still needs refinement, but that it's developing at a very fast pace. As the market is expanding, he is looking forward to working with Chinese animators in the near future. Another staple of the CICF is the China Cosplay Super Show, which gives fans the opportunity to dress up as their favorite animation characters. Of course, no competition will be complete without an award ceremony, and CICAF is no exception. The Golden Monkey King Awards are handed out on the last day of the festival for best-in-class productions in categories of film, series, shorts, scripts, and character. Foodies, this is for you. Chinese food documentary series A Bite of China is set to release a movie spin-off of their highly successful show. Entitled A Bite of China Celebrating the Chinese New Year, the film will feature dishes from over 35 Chinese regions and cities. For many foodies, watching A Bite of China was pure bliss. The TV show perfectly visualized the deliciousness of Chinese cuisine and also embodied the soul and heart behind many of the country's best dishes. After a successful 2 seasons run, the show's production team has decided to make a film spin-off of the show entitled A Bite of China, Celebrating the Chinese New Year. Head director of the show, Chen Xiaoqun, will be the art director of the upcoming movie. The production team invited 3 famous food experts as the consultants for the film. Other crew members such as the director, cinematographer, and music composer will be the same as the one on the TV show. Already a 60-second preview of the film has been released, much to the anticipation of its fans. The film will take place in China with stops in 35 different regions and cities. It will explore the bizarre dishes eaten during Chinese New Year. Over 60 dishes will be featured in the film. The film will also reveal the most authentic of Chinese New Year traditions from ancient times. A Bite of China Celebrating the Chinese New Year is set to be released in 2016. And now for our spotlight story. Shanghai's Minsheng Museum is set to host an art exhibition entitled No Longer, Not Yet. It's an exhibition that will surely draw in fashionistas from all over the world. Let's find out why. When luxury fashion brand Gucci announced it was coming to China, many assumed the brand would put on yet another catwalk show. That's expected of luxury brands when they do a big event in the market, especially with the new designer in the hot seat. But Gucci's new creative director, Alessandro Michele, insisted on creating a dialogue in a fresh, innovative way. His vision is backed up by the brand's new CEO, Marco Bizzarri. This resulted in No Longer, Not Yet, an art exhibition at Shanghai's Minsheng Museum, co-curated by Michael and stylist Katie Grand. According to Michele, he wanted to do something that's not just about the product, but rather communication, as China represents a large portion of the brand's consumers. Certainly, Gucci is not the first to commission or collaborate with artists. Christian Dior, Prada, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton are all recently heavy hitters in the art world. But what is interesting about this move is that it signifies another shift in the positioning and identification of the label, since Michele took the reins. Rather than focusing on a key look or a it bag, Michele's creative strength comes from managing to creating a new romantic vision for Gucci. For this exhibition, participants were given a central brief taken from notes of his Gucci shows earlier that year. They were then asked to create original works from these notes. The exhibition features the artworks of several renowned artists from China, Europe, and the US who have all interpreted the idea of the contemporary through their works. One room has a series of quirky dark oil paintings of portraits based on the models in his shows. These were done by a female UK artist who has the pen name Unskilled Barker. In another room are blown-up images of a recent Gucci campaign by Glenn Luchford. Next is a moving installation and video by Chinese artist Cao Fei. Michelle titled his personal piece Gucci Tian in reference to the heavens. It features a mirrored space and a wallpaper with oriental painting motifs, while an inner room holds an old painting of an androgynous figure framed with neon lights. By bringing over something less overdone and more conceptual, Michelle succeeded in bringing fashion aesthetics from a different point of view. By avoiding the obvious, he was able to take Gucci to new heights. And before we go, let's get some details on some upcoming art events here in China. And that's all the time we have today. Please stay tuned for our next upcoming episode. In the meantime, you can always log on to our website at www.bon.tv for more information. I'm Sheena Kagawa in Beijing. Thanks for watching China Arts, and I'll see you next time.